Welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content, and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry, and before we go any further, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on that bell notification. That way, when we are doing our thing, YouTube lets you know. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Monday Metagaming, where we cover the latest board game industry news, new releases, titles to be announced, and what have you. And we also share some channel announcements and updates. So without any further ado, let's go straight into the board game news. First of all, I'd like to announce the release in early 2021, or actually the delivery of a Kickstarter in early 2021 for a game called Dark Ages. This is a civilization-themed 4X style Euro game with lots of heavy Euro mechanisms. I like the theme, the idea of medieval Dark Age time, and as well as the fact that it's a Euro style civilization themed game. We also have the announcement of The Adventures of Robin Hood, and this is a very exciting announcement for me because this is to be released in Q2 of 2021, and it's the return of Michael Menzel as a game designer. See, Michael Menzel is very famous and renowned within the industry for his artwork, in particular for his beautiful, gorgeous boards that he designs within the hobby. But he's also known for a very successful, I believe it was a Kennerspiel des Jahres winner several years ago, his very successful game, Legends of Andor. And this game spawned lots of spin-offs and or expansions, and even has a children's version that was made not too long ago by the Brand couple. Well, guess what? Michael Menzel is back at it again, and this time with a great intellectual property, Robin Hood. This is a cooperative game, just like Legends of Andor was, but it's a little bit different because this is going to be similar to a choose-your-own-adventure style game where the game comes with a storybook that you are following as you progress and making certain decisions that alter and affect the game going forward. Really, really excited. This is going to be a Cosmos Games production. So again, it's the same company that brought to us Legends of Andor. Michael Menzel, you know he's going to do the artwork, and you know it's going to be on point for Q2 in 2021. Then we have the announcement of a game called the Transcontinental, and this is a train-themed game with economic Euro style to it. You have some worker placement, some route network building, some pickup and delivery, and more very interesting, you got a shared train. So instead of the players having individual trains, you're manipulating just one train. So that sounds very intriguing. This is based out in 18th century Canada. We also have the announcement of SOS Titanic, the Deluxe Edition by TGG Games. This is a game that was originally made by Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Mablanc and has gone out of print, but now it's being reprinted with a Deluxe Edition. And this is basically a co-op or solo game that is based off the Klondike solitaire game that you would play with a bicycle deck of cards, except with some theme related to the Titanic and the sinking of the Titanic, as the players are trying to save as many passengers within the Titanic as possible. And as the game progresses, you see the Titanic sinking, which represents, I think, less stacks in which to distribute the different cards. But I've heard good things about it. I'm a big fan of Bruno Cathala, and they make a deluxe edition. Hey, it might be worth looking into. That's SOS Titanic. We also have the announcement of the Smoky Valley, and this is a game designed by Claude Siroy, I hope I'm saying his name right, and published by Spielworks. This will be a 2021 release, and this is another train-themed heavy economic Euro based in 19th century Montreal. So again, we have train theme, economic, a couple centuries ago in Canada, just like the game that I mentioned earlier, the Transcontinental. Players are a group of investors, and they're all working somewhat collaboratively, but at the same time, it is a competitive game where there will be an individual winner, and they're building the industries and shipping goods and developing the city of Montreal. Sounds very, very intriguing. We also have Iberian Railways, which is another train-themed game. Actually, I don't think Smoky Valley was a train-themed game, but I do think that it has a strong economic feel to it. Iberian Railways is from the Winsome line of games, And these games are kind of like in-between games between the super duper light train themed games and the heavier 18xx stock market simulation style games. But what intrigues me about this is that Iberian, referring to the Iberian Peninsula, that is Spain and Portugal, there's a special place in my heart for that because my wife spent 5 years of her childhood living in Spain. So that absolutely intrigues me because of that. We also have Unforgiven, the announcement of Unforgiven for Q2 in 2021. This is actually subtitled The Lincoln Assassination Trial. So it's based on the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States of America. It is due to be shipped, like I said, in Q2. This is a 2-player only card-driven tug-of-war game that is described as being reminiscent of Seven Wonders Duel. I'm a big fan of Seven Wonders Duel. That's a massively successful game, and I personally like the idea of the Abraham Lincoln assassination theme being tacked on to a game. I find it to be refreshing and unique. Then we have the announcement of the United States versus Aaron Burr, which is a trial that I am not necessarily familiar with, but the designer of this game is Jason Matthews of Twilight Struggle 1989 and the Founding Fathers fame. This is a guy that's made lots of historically based games in the past and has been very successful of tying in, you know, positive, exciting, intriguing mechanisms with great, accurate history telling. So that is very exciting. This is a legal litigation lawyer themed game, which is very similar again to Unforgiven, I believe, which I just finished mentioning. It's a 2-player only, again, card-driven game. So again, these things intrigue me. I do a lot of 2-player only play with my wife and with a few other of my gaming partners. So it's exciting to think what this game has to offer, and Jason Matthews has been a hit for us so far. We also have the announcement of Stuffed Fables announcing a expansion to their game, which is called Oh Brother, and it's basically a new adventure book which also offers new heroes, new enemies, and new challenges for the players to partake in. I do not own Stuffed Fables, but it's a game that's been on my wish list for some time. I do have a 5-year-old son. I think maybe in the next couple years he'll be old enough to play a game like this, and I could see him being very much excited to play that game. I'd like to take this time out to give a shout out to all of my patrons on patreon.com. I've opened up a Patreon. You can check the link in the description down below. And first of all, I'd like to shout out Wayne Jamel, who has been supporting this channel for a few months now, and I'd like to plug his brand, which is part of the rewards for his tier level, and shout out to his webpage, which is called DanielDreamgazer.com. That's DanielDreamgazer.com. And basically there he sells a graphic novel based on the book of Daniel from the Bible. As a matter of fact, I think it's a series of graphic novels that can be found there. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Now, I do have 4 additional patrons that I've got in the last month, and I would like to shout them out too. It's been a great way to end and transition into the new year with these 4 new supporters. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Vala Kementari. I hope I'm saying your name remotely right, because you absolutely deserve it. Vala has been following this channel for some time now. Vala is a consistent commenter on this page, constantly giving positive feedback and reinforcement to this channel. Thank you so much, Vala, for supporting this channel and contributing through Patreon. I appreciate it so much. Also like to give a shout out to Marty Epstein. And Marty, thank you so much, Marty. Marty has also been following this page for some time. Marty is consistently commenting on things, always giving his feedback, questions, opinions, all sorts of stuff. And I appreciate it so much, Marty, for how much support you've given to this channel just through your support and involvement on the actual videos, and now also on Patreon. Thank you so much, Marty. Also like to give a shout out to Raymond Mena, who's another long-term subscriber, who's also been commenting on the page or on the channel for many, many months. Thank you so much, Raymond, for supporting this channel. You have no idea how much it means to me. I thank you. I appreciate it, and I do not take it for granted. The fact that you have shown a vote of confidence for me and for this channel in order to throw your support, I really, really appreciate it. And finally, the 4th new one and the 5th in total Patreon that I like to shout out is Damari Naheda. Damari, thank you so much. Damari is a more recent subscriber compared to the other previously mentioned patrons. But hey, late to the game, but still quick to support. I appreciate it so much, Damari. Thank you so much for your willingness to support this channel. And if you're watching this and you're curious to see as how you can support this channel, check in the description down below for a link to my Patreon and see the different tiers that we have available and see if one catches your attention. Now we'd like to move on to channel updates. And it was an excellent month for the channel. Lots of good things. We had 234 new subscribers, guys. That's not a mistake. 234 new subscribers. We did lose 16 subscribers. There will be casualties along the way. But even so, that brings us to a net of positive 218 subscribers. I remember when I was struggling just to get to my first 100. So that is so humbling and such an exciting experience to just be able to announce and share that with you all. This brings our channel total to 763 subscribers, guys. 763. We're chugging our way along towards 1,000. Also, this month was great for traffic. We had 17,258 new views. Last month, we were just short of 10,000. This month, we are past the 17,000 mark. And that brings the total views for the channel to 6,173 views, guys. Thank you again, everybody who makes it happen, whether you are a Patreon supporter, or if you're just a long-time subscriber, or even a short-term subscriber, or someone who just watches my videos but perhaps doesn't even own a YouTube account. Thank you guys so much for everything you do to get this channel rolling, to keep this channel going forward and going steady and going strong into the future. We absolutely appreciate you and everything you do and every moment you take to show this channel some love. I'm going to wrap up this video just really quickly with a spontaneous top 10 list for you all. And it's basically my top 10 board games that I played the most for 2020, just to give you an idea of what games got to the table most. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be 11 games because there were 5 games that tied technically for 7th place. And those games were each played a total of 12 times this year. And that was Point Salad, Just One, Escape, Sagrada, and See No Shift. All of these games were played 12 times this past year. Then 6th place, the 6th most played game this year, was Encore, roll and write game by Inca and Marcus Brand, and this was played 19 times. The 5th place game was another roll and write, very similar in graphic design, and that's Gone Sean Clever. And this was played 21 times. I really enjoyed playing that roll and write game. The 4th most played game was Dominion. As a matter of fact, that's a tie. Actually, it tied Gone Sean Clever because I also played Dominion 21 times this past year. The 3rd most played game was Port Royal, which I played 22 times in this past calendar year. And number 2 was Pandemic the Cure, which I played 27 times. Wow, that's a lot. 27 times I played Pandemic the Cure. And finally, the game that I played the most in 2020 was Marvel Legendary, which I played a total of 53 times because there's so many people that I play it with, not to mention the fact that I play it quite often solo. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I hope you guys have an amazing 2021. Consider clicking on one of the videos on the screen right now. If YouTube is showing them to you, they think there's a really good chance that you will like one of them. Also, again, check our description in the description for a link to our Patreon account and see if you're interested in becoming a supporter of this channel and becoming more involved with the behind-the-scenes process. Research and find a tier that works for you. This is Harry saying take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.